Make sure you are seated. You can sit in a chair or sofa if you like, with the feet grounded, or if you'd like to, sitting cross-legged with the buttocks connecting into the earth. Whatever is the most comfortable for your body, whatever feels the most appropriate for you. And just taking a moment to make sure that you are in the right position for your body. You won't be fidgeting. There is a sense of feeling supported if you're seated. Supported by the chair, whatever is underneath you, or supported by the ground. Closing the eyes if they're not already. And making that conscious choice to start to observe the breath. Observing how the body breathes in and observing how the body breathes out. We're not wanting to change this breath. We're observing it, which enables us to move into that very sacred space of being able to witness, being able to observe what is taking place in this present moment. And in this present moment, everything is always fine. It's when we project into the future based on our experiences of the past. If we get caught up in anxiety or fear or overwhelm, and we start to create this future that hasn't even happened yet. And what can really help us to feel grounded and to feel stable and steady is to keep coming back to this present moment. Because this present moment is the only window of reality that we have, and it's constantly changing with every breath. So the more we can practice being conscious of the breath, over time we are able to be very aware of the present moment, without the projection into the future, without drawing on the past and the stories that we've created through the experiences that we've had. I like to work with a mantra sometimes. So a mantra that I use in this moment, in this breath, right now. Everything is fine, because it always is. It's always fine in this breath that we're taking right now. It can stop being fine when we leave this breath and this moment and off we go into the future, creating a future based on a lot of the time fear, anxiety, overwhelm, stress. Maybe we can let the future just stay where it is. It hasn't happened yet. And we choose to keep coming back to this present moment. So the breath, observing how the body responds to an inhale, and how the body responds to an exhale. And this is fairly easy for most of us to do for maybe a breath or two. But after that, it's very easy to get drawn up into the mind and off we go, thinking about stuff. And before we know it, like just 3 thoughts and we're a million miles away from this present moment. So this is the nature of the mind. And over time, we start to observe the mind as well. But right now, we're just observing the breath. And within the breath, observing a feeling of being grounded. Grounded through the soles of the feet if you're seated in a chair or a sofa. Grounded through the seat of the pelvis if you're sitting on the floor. So we have the physicality of the breath that we're all very familiar with. But there's also the consciousness, the energetic quality of the breath, which in itself is a very pure conscious energy. And we can use that energy with an intention, because our intention is also energy. So we're intending now that the breath, the conscious energy of the breath, just brings us into that place of feeling grounded. And from that place of feeling grounded, feeling supported by the earth underneath us, feeling supported by the breath. As we start to come back into our center, as we start to come back into balance. Focusing on the breath, working with the intention so the breath can support us to feel grounded. So whenever we feel we're off center, whenever we're having one of those days, whenever we feel fearful or overwhelmed or anxious, when we start projecting into the future something that hasn't even happened yet, that hasn't even happened yet, the breath. Just a few minutes to come into the breath, or listening to this short recording, to keep reminding yourself that in this moment, in this breath, right now, everything is fine. And then maybe we can start to journey through a little bit of our day, being present with the breath. So our day becomes full of all these moments where actually everything is fine. So being with the breath now, allowing yourself to be supported by the breath, feeling grounded by the earth underneath us. Everything is fine, and everything will be fine. We need to practice just coming into the moment, coming into this breath, moving away from the projections of the future, the distortions of the past, and reminding ourselves in this moment, right now, with this breath, everything is fine. And if you'd like to stay here, then please do. Or when you're ready, gently opening the eyes.